valley, in this street. They built another cities on the top, on the top, on the top. But under this street that we are now, a lot of skeletons of the black people, of the slavery people that were bringing from Africa.
Hi there. This is Reconnecting Africa here in Lisbon, Portugal. Soon I'll be doing a little tour where I will show you things that our ancestors went through. I'll show you things of the past, things that the new generation, those who benefit from slavery, don't want us to know or don't want us to tell you. So stay tuned. This is Reconnecting Africa in Portugal. Connecting Africa. I'm just doing a little tour with Vanessa. She's here.
Hi guys, welcome to Lisbon, this beautiful city. Let's get adventure today.
Thank you. So we're just gonna go through little things. We're gonna try to dig a little bit about the history of slavery.
Exactly, my friends. Stay with us. We have so much more to tell. Portugal, it was at the 15th century, they commercialized the slavery, the black people. They come from Africa and they came here and they were traded by another good stuff. The most stuff they were commercialized, it was the rum, the alcohol. And we're going to pass by a very famous and very beautiful square, the commercial square, by the name, already say commercial. Here in this square, they trade, they commercial, a lot of things, and also slavery. Over here, we're going to pass by the old port of Lisbon. Over there, try to see the two columns, the two pillars in the water. Over there, the boats will arrive from this river, the Tagus River. Here, the first port here in Lisbon, what they bring all the slavers with the boats, the big boats, the Portuguese navigators, they bring all the slavery. Here was the square they commercialized the slavery.
For a lot of people, this is just another tourist destination. But for us, this is a nightmare knowing that our ancestors were publicly humiliated, abused in this place.
Now we're going to pass to another square, Campo das Cebolas. There is a memorial of all the slavery that died, okay? We're going to visit now that part, and then we're going to follow to the other parts. Keep watching. That's why they create here the Campo das Cebolas. They do a little homage to the slavery, but now it's very simple. No one knows what's going on.
So nobody knows what this was?
No. But this is not old. This is a new thing. Okay? It was a memorial after the slavery. Okay? Here didn't happen nothing concrete. It's just a place for the memory. Here was one of the channels they transport after coming from the boat. The slaveries passed by here, and to go to the top of the hill, where is the Castle St. George, where is the royal Portuguese royal family were. Okay.
So that's what I'm doing, walking through here, just to show my respect to ancestors who died, and some of them survived this horrible
slave trade. Majority of the slavery, it was not to stay here in Lisbon. They were transferred to the south of Portugal, in Algarve, Lagos. Over there, they have a museum of slavery. Museum.
Yeah.
Okay? But it's not here, it's in Algarve, Lagos. It's very beautiful also. And over there, they count all the story about the slavery.
Behind me, there's Saint Domingo Church. That's the place where our ancestors were taken to be baptized and to be given new names. In one word, to be brainwashed into slavery. This is the place. This is the Catholic Church, like we said, the Catholic Church was involved in slavery.
Yeah, this was the place where all the slavers come here. They were giving a name about this name, Catholic name. But also in these days, this is a place of the black community are very present in Lisbon in these days, okay? You can see a different black communities, and they can tell us a little bit more about our ancestors and why they are here, why they stabilized here, why they are located here, in not any other part of the city, okay? Let's come with us and find out more. He came with the boat in 1832. This is the Paulino José de Conceição. We call it the Father Paulino. This guy, it was a slavery from Brazil. He born in Brazil, but he came long time ago. And this guy would shout out all the bad situation, illegal situations about the slavery. During the 19th century, almost the end of the century, this guy helped to shout out all the illegalities was having with the slavery people.
Shout out to him. His soul rest in peace.
Rest in peace, my brother. The black people were not slaved here in Portugal, not too much, but the slaveries came to here, they were giving a name, and then they were sell to the other countries like Brazil, to England, other countries, okay? Yeah. So that's why Portugal, it was not the major country that slavery, but they trade a lot of these slavery.
Yeah. So you got it. Yeah. So Portugal really was selling our.
Selling. It was the major seller of slaves, for sure. From here, it was passing by more than 5 million slaves that passed by here in Lisbon in Portugal, and also they were transferred to the south of Portugal, Algarve, Lagos. And over there we can see the Museum of Slavery. All the materials they used to torture. It's nice to see all that, to see about the stories, know about the stories.
There's a place here where our ancestors were from. The weak, the rebellion, those enslaved Africans that were no longer able to work, they were thrown to die. Then called the Poço of Negro. So this is the place where our ancestors were thrown to die. very historical street for us, black people. Our ancestors died in this place.
Esta é uma senhora que já nasceu aqui, a
Uhum.
mãe dela já nasceu aqui, não foi ela?
Yeah.
E o pai dela também já aqui nascido e criado. Lembra-se de haver aqui um poço, mas já não há nada de poço. O poço era onde então atiravam os negros para morrer. A estrada começa aqui e acaba ali embaixo, certo? Mas o poço, esta toda, não é? Mas aqui na esquina, lembra-se do pai ter dito que havia aqui um poço. O pai, the black people, they were bring to this valley to be dead, to die here, okay? When the slavery, the black guy or the girl, black girl, it was not good for their server, the boss. If they are sick or if they are not good enough, they come here to the valley of the black people. They come here to die. Under the street that we are now, the street that we call Rua dos Poços dos Negros, the street of the Valley of the Black People, under us there is a lot of numbers of skeletons of the African people they were bring from Africa to be commercialized here. They were dead, okay, they didn't put they in the cemetery, they put in the way on the valley. It was a big valley in this street. They built another cities on the top, on the top, on the top. But under this street that we are now, a lot of skeletons of the black people, of the slavery people that were.
Underneath here, there are bones of our ancestors. Enslaved Africans are lying right here. Before those streets were made, was a valley of the black people, a place where the enslaved ancestors, especially the weak, the sick, or the rebellion, were thrown to die. Later on, those streets were built. So I'm standing right where our ancestors were buried.
I was trying to say here in Lisbon, okay, they didn't slavery the black people here in Lisbon. Normally they come in a big boats, right? The slaves they come, they park on that dock in the old port of Lisbon. They in Lisbon they were baptized, they were registered, they were giving a Catholic name, a number, okay. And after that, if the black people, the slavery was good for the master, they go. If it is not, they go to the valley of the black people to go to die. But if they are good, they were transport to the other city, not in Lisbon, but in the south of Portugal, Lagos in Algarve area. And in Lagos, there is the Museum of Slavery. Slavery Museum.
Wow, a lot of history in Portugal. A lot of people say that there's nothing. There's a lot of things. The thing is that a lot of those places were destroyed by the Portuguese because they didn't want you and I to know about it.
The finish of the 18th century, the initiation of the 19th century, the big noble people like Mr. Marquês de Pombal, the guy responsible to rebuild all the city, they erase a little bit of that part of the slave story, okay? It was not good for the Lisbon city.
Yeah. Wow.
A lot of the files were lost in the big earthquake, but let's be serious. A lot of them was hidden by the big people back in the days in Lisbon.
Wow. Wow.
Now we're gonna finish in big with the good news. Not everything is bad.
Yeah.
It was one good Portuguese that decided to abolish all the slavery. We're gonna see the statue. We're gonna see a very important figure, because in that figure of that Portuguese guy, there is a black woman, slavery, with a son, and it's a very symbolic figure.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna try to see the statue over here.
Hmm.
Okay, this guy, it was General Marquês de Sá da Bandeira. It was responsible to finish the slavery in Portugal and the colonies. Back at the 19th century, Marquês de Sá Bandeira, he approved one law to abolish all the commercial slavery in all the imperial Portuguese kingdom. Okay, was in 187, and 10 years later also arrived at Brazil the finish of the slavery.
Although those Europeans are seen as the ones who abolished slavery, let's not forget that our ancestors fought for the freedom of them people, whether in Africa or outside Africa. For instance, in Africa, we had kings and queens who fought to the end of their lives. There were places in Africa where the Europeans were completely defeated. Today, those Africans are remembered for their fight against the Europeans, whether in Africa or outside Africa. So the theory that the Europeans were the one who abolished the slavery, it's just another way to keep the black people oppressed. So let's honor those ancestors who fought against the Europeans.
They try to hide from us.
So they try to hide the slavery story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They do. Not all of the story about the slavery. It's here. It's for everyone to see. You must dig in. You must explore. You must go to the end of the question to know all about the story, because it's not easy. They don't want to know all the truth, because some bad things happened, and they don't want us to know it. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm. You heard it. You heard it. Slavery happened. Slavery is true. The consequences of slavery we see today everywhere in the world. The way you see black people, you see them struggling. Why? Because of slavery. That's still affecting their minds, because we sort of carrying the genes of our ancestors. You just saw a place here we didn't show because it was covered. A place where it was a valley of the Negro, a place where our ancestors, the weak, the ones who could no longer work, they were thrown there to die.
And the guys, it was good to be working, to be slave, not working, sorry. They were exposed in the open square, naked, women, men, children, everyone. If exposed to see if they are good, if they speak well, if they have no disease, if to check if teeth, everything. They were checked, they were exposed, they were vulnerable to the white people.
How can you forget that? How can you not tell next generation that slavery is true and affected us? So this is reconnecting Africa here in Lisbon. to show you things that it really went through. I thank Vanessa for her time. I thank you, Andy. Like I say, if you come to Portugal, contact her, you see her, she will take you around place that we didn't go, but there's other place and
There is more, much more.
there's
Yeah.
more. She will take you there and you will know a little bit about our history. So until next time, I say reconnecting.
Reconnecting Africa.
Bye bye.